have been the sensible choice due to that is where they lost last time. You want to get that psychological advantage of not having to play on it. No, they did not ban it. They let it go through. They actually, but CE actually banned Braxis, considering it's one of their maps. That's kind of weird. And they are going to Tomb as KT are taking them there. That is slightly concerning. I have small amounts of issues with this. But now, though, as you can see here, here's the reason why we have issues with this. 6 and 5 for KT, the most wins they have on any map is on Tomb of the Spider Queen, whereas CE, they don't play it that often, and they're only 1 and 3. They do not do well on this map, and yet, for some reason, they consistently let other teams take them to it. I feel that it's been a mistake. We're going to Tomb, Kendrick.
Nice! We're going to Tomb of the Spider Queen, so it was not banned after all, and it is indeed the best map available for KT in terms of overall success history. So cool to see. By the way, it's wonderful to have your restroom right next to you. Ah, so good.
I, in fact, do not have this.
The luxury.
It's within a very easy distance, though. For now, though, it is going to be CE. They once again respect ban, remove Butcher's Stitches, which would have been a spectacular pick on this map for them. It was not part of the composition that KT used BC the first time, but it should still potentially work out as a very safe and solid ban.
And hooray! We see a Lunara ban Tetcher.
She's jumped up just that high now.
Here we go. Now, it makes a lot of sense, ladies and gentlemen, because she is an absolute force on Tomb of the Spider Queen. We have a very cool history of her making for spectacular games. If you think back to probably a year and a half ago, to her Fnatic face Dignitas in that legendary 25-35 minute game with Lunara, and the solo Tacitor support back in the days. Oh boy, those were good times.
Good times indeed. Some of my favorite matches that we've had in Heroes have been on Tomb, to be fair. Back when we had like Vikings being picked on Tomb and just like with longboat builds and just sort of tanking until the late game. That was always a fun one. So Valor makes it through this time with Ariel already picked up. So we're actually seeing currently CE are actually beginning the composition that they ran when they lost last time. We'll see if that continues. And actually, okay, let me tell you the compositions here, because so far everything's available. KT picked Valor, Tassadar, Uther, Muradin, and Alarak. So let's see if that continues, whereas CE, Ariel, Malthael, Tyrael, Sylvanas, and Greymane. So right now, both teams are on track. Let's see if they continue down this path. If we see like Malthael, Greymane now, then we know something's up.
We know that something's up indeed if we see those heroes. Now, really, really interested in seeing what CE is going to come up with now, because come on, China, just pick the Gul'dan already, will you? Other regions have fallen back onto... Yeah!
Hey! Adjustments. And unfortunately, our perfect reenactment of the first time they fought has been crushed, but we also get flexibility of paying attention to other regions being shown by one of our top teams, CE. So I am okay with it.
I'm more than okay with it. I mean, traditionally speaking, I just don't know. It's just China, man. But normally you don't want to go for, or you don't have to go, let's put it this way. You don't have to go for double support when picking Gul'dan, or mages in general, I would say. It's normally not needed with an Oriel, because I think she offers so much AoE protection already. Not sure if the Rhaegar is needed, but of course what Rhaegar also brings to the table here in Tomb of the Spider Queen in particular is the additional rotation power, the additional wave clear power with that lightning bond at level 1. So it makes a little bit of sense if you put it into wave clearing, you know, aspects here, but I'm not a big fan of it. I think they could have gone for more damage and even more pushing power with the likes of Johanna, or maybe just another strong wave clear.
So with Malthael banned, it actually leads me to believe that Paradise might be one of the ones playing either the Ariel or the Rhaegar, or even maybe the Gul'dan.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of true. Like, you could definitely play the Rhaegar. He's kind of like a very melee frontline heavy support, although you need to be able to dodge the frontline if you want to drop that Ancestor, right? That's oftentimes a mistake by many Rhaegar players, going in too deep, getting caught by one of the crowd control abilities, silences, roots, whatever, and then falling victim to it.
He has played Rhaegar once, 100% win rate.
Solid.
Very solid indeed. Doesn't look like he's played Gul'dan.
No. I think Gul'dan is definitely a hero for Zuyu too. Like Zuyu, he's the omnipotent ranged assassin player who basically plays both mages and basic attackers alike and equally well, which basically makes him stand out even more. Like if you compare him to other all-star ranged assassin players like Mene, for example, I mean, Mene is a god on mages, and he's not a terrible Vala or a terrible Greymane either, but he's definitely known to be the mage god, whereas Zuyu, I don't think, has either of those, you know, preferences.
So with the Malfurion, we have the healing reduction opportunity to try and deal with that double support composition, seeing as Malthael has been taken away, and that's one of the few anti-healing heroes we have. The other one being Varian, who could fit in for CE.
I would.
We know.
You hit the nerve. You hit the nerve, Tencher. You know how to get me excited. But yeah, it could work for sure. Like it's a lot of blow up potential for sure. A little bit weak in the early game when it comes to those rotations. A little bit weak in terms of wave clear. So maybe a warrior like Johanna would make a little bit more sense in that regard. But you know, I'm down for the variant. I've got my Alliance Scarf lying right next to me, and I'm not afraid to put it on.
Ha! Horde!
Oh my god.
Garrosh coming in as the tank.
Why? 3 orcs in one team, Tencher?
Team orcs.
You've been paying them for that too. Oh my god. I don't have my orc, my Horde scarf next to me.
You know what before Forsaken guy, dude? I'm Horde via proxy.
Fair enough, fair enough. I can live with that. But look at that, by the way. This is one of the few Garrosh appearances here on this battleground. We have never seen him before on Tomb of the Spider Queen in HGC China, so we actually are celebrating a little bit of a premiere here. And now that, ladies and gentlemen, could be a Paradise hero. Like, Paradise could go for Leoric as well, don't get me wrong. So it's going to be Wind or Paradise on that Garrosh. How much follow-up do they have, though, for one of those infamous tosses? Not that much.
Not sure, but that also brings the question of what KTY it's on, who is
probably Rhaegar or Auriel. Yeah, he's definitely the kind of second support.
Dahaka to finish up for KT, another tank. I would have preferred maybe a more mobile one that won't explode if it's behind a gate, but Dahaka's still relatively survivable. I'm trying to think who another tank actually could be. Tyrael, I guess, would be the one I would
Tyrael, Johanna can also dodge the tosses very well from Garrosh. But either way, I think it's a very strong draft coming in from KT, so if they end up losing here, they definitely can't blame it on the hero choices they've made. However, I can say the exact same thing about CE. I really think that while their draft looks a little bit crazy because Garrosh is always a little bit of a hit or miss choice, if they snowball like crazy, if they get those strong rotations, if they get those kills all along, I think it might be very hard for KT to stop them from snowballing.
That sounds pretty reasonable, and with that snowballing potential that they do have, with, of course, just the very standard Valor murders everything composition.
Oh boy, yeah.
That's going to be so hard to deal with. I mean, we saw exactly how it worked when it was on the other team. So, I have a small amount of doubt for CE, especially with their map ratio on here being 1-3. But it looks reasonable. It's better than the last time they played in this map draft.
Could be their kryptonite after all. If it's not the enemy heroes, it could be the battleground. But we're going to find out if it comes true, ladies and gentlemen. Second game between CE and KT. Ladies and gentlemen, we're being deployed to the Tomb of the Spider Queen with KT Kudos top on the left-hand side with T-Die on the Tassadar. Neptune plays Dahaka, Genshu on Malfurion, Seeing on Vala, and Butcher plays the Muradin.
Whereas on the right-hand side, it is going to be CE challenge, Relufal on Auriel, Wind on Garrosh, KTY playing the Gul'dan, Paradise on the Auric, and Zuyu on the Rhaegar.
Now, Tetra, I know you're the god of numbers and statistics here for HGC China. Tell me it's the first time for Genshiro to play Malfurion.
I will find out for you.
There we go.
Off the top of my head, I think it might be, but I will find out for sure.
So Genshiro really stepping out of his comfort zone today. Not going for Uthers, not going for Rhaegars, which are normally his two baby boys that he feels most comfortable on. But cool to see the Malfurion coming in here as well. So, as we said...
Yes, it is.
Oh, yes, it is. First time Genshiro hype. By the way, Techer, look at that lineup. Zuyu, the main ranged assassin, plays Rhaegar. KTY and Gul'dan.
Technically a flex. He is technically a flex. If we go over like some of the heroes Zuyu has played, he's definitely not the dedicated ranged assassin. It is basically the CE at this point is a team of flexes and a Lufel, and that's flexes, a Lufel, and Wind, and that's the entire composition. Here comes Butcher trying to finish off Lufel.
Oh my goodness, the damage, KTY.
Here comes Zuyu, melee assassin Rhaegar, trying to finish off but can't get the kill.
I think there was a little bit of a misplay. Nice kill against the Vala here, by the way. First blood going over to C anyways. But I think there was a little bit of a mechanical misplay by KTY on the Gul'dan because he didn't use his trait in order to get more mana, right? Otherwise, he could have dropped more fell flames, excuse me, on the Q. And I think he could have actually executed some of those KT members. So... maybe next time.
So, as a heads up, this is the second time that Zuyu will be playing Rhaegar. He currently has a 0% win rate on it out of one game.
Yeah.
So, this is time to redeem it and get a 50% support win rate for him. He's also played Uther, which he's had a bit of a higher success rate on. Trying to focus Neptune. The Saber Strike not hitting any walls, so no way to grab that execution.
Butcher going for that interception here from the bush. Not taking too much damage either because of Tassadar shields, but you know, it's kind of cool to see how they're trying to interrupt those rotations. Now KTY dropping very low. Murden is like a honey badger. He's not letting go anytime soon.
Zuyu dropping low, finally gets finished off, and that is going to be the second kill of the game. 1 for 1 for both teams.
KTY also getting very hurt, very injured in the process. He definitely needs to take a sippy from the healing fountain. Now, I really like... Oh, never mind. A Lufel in trouble. Licky Sticky Tongue and stuns are good, but not enough follow-up damage as a result. And the toss into the tower backline. Get wrecked, Butcher on that Murden. Fantastic kill by CE.
Groundbreaker pulling him in again after he thought he was safe. But no one is safe from Wind, who is able to pick up the second kill. Like you said, beautifully done.
Alright, so 1-0 in favor of the Horde here, I guess. Horde character versus Alliance character. I will have to get used to seeing this, because when I play a World of Warcraft Battlegrounds, it's never that way.
If you say so, dear. As we do see Neptune moving in for Gul'dan, and it easily picks up for Gul'dan. Just beautiful move in, wraps around with the drag, gets in position
nice
with the bottom
toss.
block, gets the kill. Another toss. This time the dwarf toss, though, is prepared. Unfortunately, the unrivaled strength that Garrosh took at level 1 was just not enough to get him behind the gate, so he wasn't able to get the extra couple shots in range. Indomitable, obviously not helping out in that scenario at all, much like none of the talents he really could have taken would.
Now let's take a look at the overall gem count here. In the meantime, though, we see C-Ink probably got tossed into the backline here. That's why he was so caught out of position. But the follow-up damage is not there just yet. Neptune trying to go for the tongue. Hits the Gul'dan.
Not that he was aiming for Zuyu, but he'll take the Gul'dan, drops KTY down to half health. KTY, though, standing in that healing totem, gets healed back to full pretty quickly. Yeah,
and look at the distraction CE had cost in the bottom lane, too. Not losing a team member was crucial here, because in the top lane, we saw Leoric and Garrosh, no, not Garrosh, I think it was Ariel, actually pay in. Super cool. The Detainment Strike, unfortunately, not landing by a Lufel, but still, the damage has been done, the gems have been turned in, and the first Web Eaters, only after 4 minutes and 14 are spawning in favor of C. This could be huge.
It could be. They're looking to move in, and this is obviously going to be a big opportunity for KTY to build some stacks due to the fact there's going to be multiple heroes set up behind a gate to defend here. Murder with Skullcracker, by the way, a little bit more disruption, going to be even more annoying. Now, this can just be straight up countered by Indomitable for Garrosh if he times it right, but at least while he tries to lock Zuyu, lock the Muradin down.
The purple wave just barely not hitting KT there. I think Vala and Malfurion would have dropped even lower in terms of overall health if that had connected. But, you know, see, they're applying a lot of pressure, and that's the power of Garrosh. If you're riding the momentum, if you're seizing the opportunity, you can really snowball ahead. It's so risky to really engage into a Garrosh because, you know, that toss combo into the backline with the Webweaver and your minions behind it as well, causing additional damage, could be so devastating. Now, Butcher spotting the rotation, going in, getting stunned though.
He's a bit outnumbered here. The CC is good, but not enough to finish him off as he is able to escape. Into the fray is the level 7 talent for Garrosh. We actually saw him using, taking a KT minion and throwing it at Valor for harassment damage.
Oh!
Into the fray! KTY out of danger. Zuyu back in wolf form, and they are out of there.
Oh, man, Wind, the ultimate bro. What a save on his orc brother. I'm not sure if Gul'dan and Garrosh would be good friends in real life, but for here in the Nexus, there's no such thing as relationships, you know? So, good save. Nicely done.
Yeah, into the fray in this case being get out the way, removing Garrosh from, removing Gul'dan from that danger, and a beautiful save allows them to continue to control over this turning point and creep ever so much closer to that level 10.
Here we go, Garrosh now once again getting stunned by the Muradin, getting slowed. You would definitely want to keep that Horde Chieftain, former Horde Chieftain in check. Super dangerous, and level 10 is achieved. Now, what heroic ability are we going to see? Yep, we see the mass AoE taunt coming in for Garrosh. Definitely cool follow-up CC when you get one of those combos. Just like the Horrify, I think all of a sudden, after acquiring level 10 at the heroic abilities, there's a lot more follow-up damage done after those combos for CE. Even going for the Entomb as well, Tetcher.
Yeah, even more silences. There's so much lockdown here to just rely on Gul'dan to drop that damage output in. And that's gonna be either incredibly successful or they're gonna suddenly find they have no damage. Down goes Paradise. He does drop several gems here. Yeah. Wind is looking to try and pick them up. There's so many heroes here. It doesn't look like he's gonna be able to get them.
This is actually a good time for KT to get a kill. It brought them a much closer to that level 10 for themselves. And of course, the imminent turn-in could really turn the tides and equalize the score overall in terms of buildings, in terms of overall structural advantage. Leoric, he respawns only to get licked again, but makes it out alive this time around.
Yeah. He got his drag out, so he was able to get some healing and keep himself relatively safe. Butcher surviving, pulled in, but a beautiful stun. Wind not getting it.
Dude, I think if Butcher had gotten tossed back into the backline, he would have most likely died because the Dwarf Tusk was just about to be used. Beautiful stun against the Entomb wall, but Dehaka refuses to die.
He's so tanky, holds it, and that forces the retreat out of CE. Neptune just took everything there and survived, even the Warlord's challenge.
And I was going to say, now, all of a sudden, things are looking mighty grim for CE. Look at the heroic abilities. Some of the most important cooldowns are now live and ticking. The Entomb, the Warlord's Challenge, the Horrify. There's only so much CE can now do in order to defend. And look at that. Middle lane is falling. Bottom lane is getting sieged heavily. This is the time for KT to make a stand.
If KT get 1-4, they will have evened up, and it looks like Bot will be the one that goes down with the 5-man defense in the mid lane. They do clear up the Web Weavers. CE now need to rotate down to bot lane. There's very unlikely they're going to be able to save their 4. Maybe they should also take the non-stupid rotation route, and in fact they do. They do take the safer one. 4 to go down, so it does come out relatively even. Both teams just creeping closer to that level 12.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of kills, it's very close. In terms of structural advantages or progress, it's also very much tied out. I think C is just playing a little bit more safely right now in order to get in those gems. Actually, I'm not sure if I agree with the rotations here by KT. They're pulling off 3 members for just 1 mercenary camp, basically leaving the turn-in points vulnerable and naked. So you can see a lot of gems being paid in for CE right now. And if you have a hero like Dehaka or maybe even just Zavala, they can clear those mercenary camps by themselves. There's no need to use 3.
Horrify is used, trying to focus Vala. She gets taken down, but Dehaka coming in from behind and Luthal's in danger. Detainment strike is good, though. The Twilight Dream, though, like you said, trying to turn it around. Zuyu finishes off the Malfurion, though, as they keep pushing on. Butcher's alone. He will get out of there, though, as Wind will turn in 7 gems, or 5, because that's all he needed. And it's going to be another Web Weaver wave for CE.
Yeah, that was a huge turnaround for CE. Not only were they able to get 2 kills, but these 2 kills also allow them to push the Web Weaver waves, or the lanes, excuse me, a little bit more for the Web Weavers. So I think those Web Weavers are going to inflict some heavy damage. Also 13 now are available for CE, and we do indeed see the Warbreaker here. If I'm... Nope.
Nope, that is double up.
Sorry. Yep, exactly. It is double up. So... kind of cool to see here. Garrosh now getting a little bit more, you know, armor bonus if activated in time. Cool to see.
Yeah, Paradise draining Butcher as Wind is chasing T-Dive. Warlord's challenge is used here. They're kind of committing to this. Dimensional Shift's already been used. Here comes Zuyu. Oh, Dimensional Shift's back, but Archon has to be popped just to keep him alive there. That's a lot of damage onto a Luful there, getting extended power range.
Yeah, we see the Ominous Wraith talent here also coming in for Leoric, reducing the amount of damage everyone in the enemy team deals if if they're getting hit by that Wraith Walk. Kind of cool to see. Very strong talent.
But just staying on top of his stuns a lot and not allowing that Wraith Walk to even go off there. And they want to try and get Butcher, but he's Muradin. Too mobile, too tanky.
Now, KT did do a good job, mind you, really defending this lane. Only 1-4 died, and the Haka Neptune was even able to do a little bit of additional soaking. Now, he's carrying 33 gems, though. He's definitely a target that should not die if you're KT. But, see, he did have a couple of issues killing him in the first place, so I think he's good for now.
Very true. They've so far not been able to kill that Muradin and just struggling to get to him. Neptune, able to sneak in a turn in.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why CE let that go through. Like, Garrosh was actually right in the vicinity. I think he was too afraid that there might be an ambush coming in from somewhere unexpected. Also, I do want to highlight a tiny little detail that I find very, very enjoyable to watch. Like, when you have a Gul'dan in your team, try to save at least one enemy minion. Just spare one minion so he can use the life drain in order to heal up fully. So, only, of course, when he needs to. So, don't be that guy.
Is it life drain he took, or is it Healthstone? Oh, you mean his ability? Yeah,
the ability, yeah.
What is the name of that minion talent? The one where he just eats a minion?
Something was Consume Soul, I think.
Consume Soul, that's the one. Eats a minion, absorbs its protein. As Sieg eats all the poison and absorbs the death. Taking it, getting taken down. Mouth killed as well before the Twilight Dream. Or actually, Twilight Dream was interrupted here. Zuyu is 1v1ing T-Die. Paradise coming down to turn it into a 2v1 though. Butcher, once again, this is like the 4th attempt to kill him here. Dwarf Toss throws in Leoric to try and chase him down. The trade is dropped, throws back Butcher. Butcher being treated like a pig.
He's still alive!
And he drops the Arc.
No way.
Avatar, the healing static. They go for him, finally taking him down.
That was one tanky dwarf. It was like he was getting slapped to the walls left, right, and center, but he refused to die. Very cool to see. But in the end, there's only so much one Muradin can tank. And as a result, with their main tank still being gone, with 16 nowhere being near, they just go for that easy boss. CE in full momentum here. They even have enough gems as well to go for that turn. And of course, if you can basically queue up your objectives very nicely to get the maximum value, you go for the boss first as it despawns when you unlock the Web Weavers. So this could be almost the nail in the coffin here if CE continues to kill people from KT. Need to pay in quickly though. Uh-oh.
That could be dangerous.
Oh, who got it?
Who got it? It is KT.
Wow.
So they're going to have a bit of defensive Web Weaver wave. That's clutch for them.
That was actually an MVP move right there. I think if they didn't get those Web Weavers, they might have actually lost the game because there would have been so much pressure. Or at least they would have lost at least 1 or 2 keeps. But the fact that the blue Web Weavers are now spawning, look at that. See, he doesn't even go for the push for the boss. They're defending. That was so crucial, so important.
Yeah, and they wouldn't have really been able to push with the boss at this point. Yeah, they have a talent advantage, but they can't afford to just lose forts randomly, so this makes a little bit more sense. It sucks they lose the advantage, but they can just get their Web Weaver turn in straight afterwards and push with that.
Exactly. But still, a nice move to buy KT a little bit more time to get 16 themselves. That's going to be so important. Now, please don't make the mistake, KT, here to go for an all-in fight before that happens. Even if the Web Weavers are going to spawn, all of your keeps are still healthy and alive. There's no need to overcommit.
Butcher being forced back. This last Web Weaver shall fall. KT, by the way, Garrosh, by the way, going for the Earth Shaker here, taking that stun land for Wrecking Ball. It's going to be very helpful later on for that lockdown onto Valor when she's in the Entomb, which is what they've been doing so far.
Yeah. You know, it's also a nice, like, if it hits, if there's a coincidental toss onto the Malfurion while he was trying to do the Twilight Dream, for example, you know, those are all kinds of little things that could happen, so the Earthshaker definitely a good talent. Entomb, unfortunately, not really landing, and the retaliation blow comes immediately from KT.
Entomb was cancelled though. I'm not entirely sure why. It could have just been used to zone here. Instead, the Twilight Dream is dropped to get some crazy value here. We're seeing cooldown. The fear is huge, hitting almost everyone. Zuyu is dropping low, but Wind is holding the line as Paradise is causing havoc back here.
Over here.
We've already seen Dahaka. Down goes Muradin with the front line gone. It's full retreat out of KT. Can Wind throw Zuyu or anything like that? No, he can't. They're still able to kill off Malfurion. Zuyu is able to catch up to C on his own and gets the kill. Everyone except Tassadar is killed. Web Weavers are on the way, and CE are pushing in for keeps.
Alright, Death Timers Tetcher are not really that long just yet. Only 25 seconds or a little bit more on most of those KT members. But CE, they're racing down the clock here. They're trying to put this game to an end, going for that middle keep. They do have Vipers knocking on the door here in top lane as well. Can they do it? I think it's a little bit too early to go for the core, and CE realizes it. They're trying to be patient right now, trying to get that level 20 and trying to get another keep in the top lane. Very nice move. I like it.
Yeah, they're going to take down that top keep. KT looking to try and do anything they can to defend it. They do not want 2 lanes of catapults pressuring them here. Wind dodging out the Storm Bolt. More pressure is still coming in. If they can just get another wipe, then they can end the game. But they're not willing to fully dive for it. They're waiting for anyone of KT to overstep here. Right now, though, KT believe that CE might have overstepped, put some pressure on them, but they only hit Leoric with that stun. And as such, they're able to retreat with level 20. Level
20 has been achieved. The Death Wish is now online for Garrosh, but we take another look at that beautiful team fight. Look at the toss there as well, saving KTY, but then comes the massive fear. Keep an eye out for that one.
Yeah, the Onimus Wraith as well, dropping all of that hero damage. The stun, which was actually the Earthshaker, like we said earlier, into the Horrify, just completely knocking down everyone. And then it's a massacre. The tanks get focused down first, and they're able to easily take this fight. Unfortunately, though, now CE are going to be quite low on gems, so they're going to need to farm this up or look for more kills. But nice zoning route by Malfurion.
Also, they
only need 15. Well done.
There we go. Really, really well done. But the amount of protection as well on the Garrosh was just insane. The all-rail heals, the ancestral landing in time. It is so hard if you don't have dedicated percentage damage to really take down the Garrosh. And look at KT's lineup here. There's actually no percentage damage at all available for them right now with the talents they've chosen. So Garrosh is just that bulwark that refuses to die.
Yeah, let's add this up here. You're trying to fight a Garrosh, you drop him low, he activates double up. His armor's now something absurd like 70 or 80. Yeah. He's just insanely tanky at this point. He's getting healed by 2 heroes. This entire time, you have no percentage damage, and the Earth Shield as well. And while all this is happening, you do 50% damage thanks to Ominous Wraith. You're not killing him, that's the point.
That's actually so true. Like, damage reduction comes with as the icing on the cake here. So true, Tetcher. And you can really see how this double support approach by KT ends up backfiring. Because imagine if they had gone for something like Malthael, I'm not sure if it was banned or not. Even if they had gone for something like Tychus instead of the Tassadar, I think their chances would have been so much better to actually threaten that top backline here for CE. But as you said, with that double support and the damage reduction coming in from CE, they're just not having enough oomph to really get anything done.
We do see Paradise looking around, was just scanning around with that Wraith there. People taking the mick because I said more than 75 armor. Exaggeration is a thing, everyone. Please enjoy it. As we do see them moving in, throwing in Paradise. Beautiful silencing Entomb. They can't get to her, though, because the structure's in the way. But it's enough. The poison ticks down. Paradise arrives and finishes off Valor easily. Butcher's still surviving, though, on that Muradin, keeping himself alive. Neptune is just retreating out of there. He's leaving Butcher. There's nothing he can really do. Butcher, though, leaping over the wall, able to escape. They're looking for T-Die instead, or the core, as they move in.
Oh, yeah. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think KT can do it with only 3 members alive. Zuyu drops low, though, going deep, taking a little bit of damage. But here comes the entire might of CE, and they're trying to work down the core. The shield is dropping low. 100% still left, though, but the Wave Viewers are joining into the fray. Zuyu gets tossed in the backline as well. Can they take down Neptune using the burrow in the nick of time? time here, but 2 more kills, and ladies and gentlemen, that is lights out, and CE takes the series 2-0. GG.
And CE really needed this 2-0. They get the 3 points, absolutely perfect for them, because now, if RPG take a 1-1 versus BTG, which is definitely possible, then CE will create a 2-point difference between them and BTG, which they really do need to try and secure that place for BlizzCon.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate the astounding amount of good Garrosh plays coming in from Wind? Absolutely MVP material right there, ladies and gentlemen. That last alley-oop kind of play, tossing the Leoric into the enemy team's backline, who followed up with a beautiful Entomb. That was just a pleasure to behold. Even as an Alliance fanboy, I'm going to give a slow golf clap towards that Garrosh. That was pretty cool. That was good stuff.
Was really, really solid Garrosh play in general. Using into the fray, basically on cooldown to just get lockdowns, throw Rhaegar even. It was just like, hey, you know the support who usually stays in the backline and is a heal bot and sometimes does some burst damage? So you get in there! Kill their Valor for me! And it's just, when you see Rhaegar killing a Valor 1v1 after being thrown in by a Garrosh, you know you've got a solid team behind you.
Yeah.
And some really good healing by a Lufel on that Ariel.
Absolutely cool to see. The triple Auric making things work like a charm here for CE. And for the first time, Tetra, I can rightfully say that CE did impress me. I think I haven't really seen a lot of games where I was like, that's the CE from Phase 1 that I recognize. That's the kind of HGC China material that they finally gave to us. And just gotta give kudos to them. Unfortunately, Kudos Top, on the other hand, team known as KT, they had to suffer yet another disheartening loss, and they were finally starting to stabilize. They were finally starting to get some points under their belt here, but yet another defeat, although it was just hard for them to make anything for it. I think they just got outclassed, and they can't be too upset about this loss.
Indeed, and even though they didn't gain any points today, they're still in currently a fairly safe position. Currently in a 6th place with 8 points, which is 2 ahead of the next closest team behind them, RPG. So RPG would have to 2-0 beyond the game today to have any chance of pushing KT down a spot.
Well, maybe they're gonna take the Garrosh into account as well, because he seems to be quite the game winner. But let's see if Wind actually convinced our Chinese jury as well. I mean, come on, if he doesn't get the MVP, I don't know who else will ever get a Garrosh
Maybe
MVP.
Zuyu did really, really well on that Rhaegar, but Wind definitely deserves it.
Maybe the Leoric, because some of those Entombs were quite fancy too.
True.
But overall,
I think he made a mistake on one. That one fight over the top turn-in area, he could have just left the Entomb up to his own Valor. He cancelled it because he missed and was like, okay, I'm just going to cancel this because it doesn't matter. And then Valor just walked straight through that entrance that the Entomb was blocking and just started attacking everyone. And there is Wind. MVP Garrosh.
Faith and Orcanity restored. There we go. Really cool to see. I would have been truly upset if anyone else had gotten it, but I mean, Garrosh is now something to be considered. And I really hope that other Warrior players or other teams in general took a look at this replay and be like, okay, you know what? That Garrosh is legit. We're going to implement him into our own drafting, because so far, I think it was only Wind who really made this Garrosh work like a charm. Garrosh still not really part of the